Trump's tariff delay, a temporary reprieve. U.S. President Donald Trump recently announced a one-month postponement of the 25% tariffs on several Canadian imports, now set to take effect on April 2nd. The decision followed negotiations with Canadian officials and mounting concerns from various industries. In response, Canadian Finance Minister Dominic LeBlanc stated that Canada would delay its second wave of retaliatory tariffs valued at $125 billion until April 7th. However, the initial tariffs targeting $30 billion worth of U.S. goods remain in effect. British Columbia's aggressive response. British Columbia, BC, has taken a unique stance, leveraging its geographic significance as a vital transit route between the U.S. mainland and Alaska. The province plans to introduce legislation imposing tolls on U.S. commercial vehicles traveling to Alaska, a direct response to Trump's tariffs. BC Premier David Eby made it clear, "This is about sending a strong message to Washington and Alaska's Republican leadership." Additional proposed measures include mandating low-carbon fuel additives for gasoline and diesel to be sourced within Canada and eliminating interprovincial trade barriers to reduce reliance on the U.S. economy. Despite Trump's partial rollback of tariffs, Eby insists that Canada must maintain countermeasures. "We will not tolerate these ongoing threats and uncertainty. We must make it clear just how frustrated we are at provincial retaliations." A nationwide pushback. Provinces across Canada have responded with their own retaliatory measures. Nova Scotia, doubling tolls for U.S. commercial vehicles, banning American businesses from provincial contracts, and removing U.S.-made alcohol from liquor store shelves. Alberta, preparing countermeasures within 24 hours, prioritizing pipeline and LNG infrastructure, and urging all provinces to eliminate internal trade barriers. Manitoba and Newfoundland and Labrador, halting purchases of U.S. liquor, reviewing procurement contracts, and expanding trade beyond the U.S. Canada's trade diversification strategy. With U.S.-Canada trade relations on shaky ground, Canada is accelerating its push to reduce reliance on American markets. Efforts include expanding exports to Europe, Asia, and Latin America under agreements like SPTP and CETA, offering grants and financing to help businesses pivot away from U.S. dependency, strengthening economic ties with Mexico and other SPTP members to create a broader trade network outside the U.S. British Columbia is at the forefront of this shift, fast-tracking major investment projects worth $20 billion, creating an estimated 8,000 jobs, and aggressively pursuing new international markets. Canada's strategic importance. The U.S.-Alaska Connection. Canada plays a crucial logistical role in connecting Alaska to the contiguous U.S. Key transit routes include the Alaska Highway, a primary overland link between Alaska and the lower 48 states. Air travel. Many flights between Alaska and the U.S. mainland pass through Canadian airspace. Marine shipping. The Inside Passage facilitates commercial shipping and ferry operations between Alaska and British Columbia. Energy infrastructure. Pipelines and shipping routes transport Alaskan energy products through Canada. Given these interdependencies, U.S.-Canada trade tensions could have significant ripple effects on Alaska's economy and infrastructure. A history of U.S.-Canada trade conflicts. Trade disputes between the U.S. and Canada are not new. Notable conflicts include the softwood lumber dispute since 1982, a prolonged battle over U.S. claims of unfair Canadian subsidies, 2018-2019 tariff war. Trump's steel and aluminum tariffs led to Canadian countermeasures, ultimately resolved through the USMCA 1930 Smoot-Hawley tariffs and 1971 Nixon surcharge. Previous U.S. protectionist policies that strained relations before eventual diplomatic resolutions. Legal challenges and the path forward. Canada argues that Trump's sweeping tariffs violate the USMCA, which was designed to eliminate duties on North American goods. WTO trade rules, particularly regarding most favored nation treatment and bound tariff rates. While the U.S. may justify these tariffs under national security exceptions, Canada is prepared to challenge them through USMCA dispute resolution panels to complement domestic legal actions, though U.S. courts often defer to presidential trade powers. However, history suggests that resolution is more likely to come from political and economic pressure rather than legal action alone. A defining moment for North American trade. Escalating trade war between the U.S. and Canada marks a turning point in North American economic relations. With Canada actively diversifying its trade, implementing countermeasures, and leveraging its strategic position, the stakes are high. Whether this standoff leads to a renegotiation of trade policies or further economic fragmentation remains to be seen. One thing is certain: Canada is not backing down.